Welcome you back to West Long Branch at halftime. Keeping an eye on the scores around the league. Marist scored 2 goals in the first 24 seconds. They've gotten 4 different goal scorers as they lead Siena 4-0. And the Foxes trying to, again, increase and move up their seed here on the last day of the regular season, Tim. This game an all-important one in West Long Branch. That one seems to be firmly in control for Marist in the first half.
Quick start. Right out of the gate, you can see saves, close, draw. A very even game. No surprise it's 9-7. Very, very impressed with both offenses so far today.
A couple of goals apiece for Pam Giordano and Hager for Iona, while Monmouth, Tim, has been led by 4 goals from senior Alexa Smith.
Smith has been, again, all over the field, catching everything that comes to her and finishing 4 for 4 on the day.
McCaffrey with 3 saves, Brager with 4 in the first half. Each of our keepers playing as well. Iona is 1 half away from potentially playing its way into the MAC tournament. If they lose, they got to hang around and see what their rivals, the Manhattan Jaspers, do, while Monmouth can improve its seed and they lead 9-7. Second half coming up next.
We are the TV doctors of America, and we may not know much about medicine,
but we know a lot about drama.
We also know that you can avoid drama by getting an annual checkup.
So go, know, and take control of your health.
It could save your life.
Cigna, together all the way. The all-new 2018 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, starting at $23,295. Lease an all-new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross for as low as $189 a month.
Sunday Night Baseball, Yankees-Angels at 8 on ESPN.
MLS Soccer Sunday. Seattle Sounders versus Minnesota United FC, followed by Portland Timbers versus New York City FC. It's time for our soccer, today on ESPN and FS1.
Get you ready for the start of half number 2 by sending it down to the field with Susie Milano, who caught up with each head coach.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, I had a chance to chat with both coaches at halftime for Iona. Coach Mason mentioned to me that she felt that they were playing a little bit undisciplined. She thought they were fouling when they shouldn't be fouling, and their focus in the second half is just to simply find the back of the net. And for Monmouth, Coach Troutman said that she loved that they were finding the back then. That's obviously a very good thing for them. She loved the urgency on defense, and their favorite thing overall was that she felt her team was playing very composed. Guys?
One playoff spot up for grabs in the MAC. This Iona team, Tim, trying to be the 6th team in. And Coach Mason, you heard what she said to Susie. Thought her team was a bit undisciplined in that first half. That, and also the fact that they've already given up more goals than they allow per game, has to be a bit of a concern on the Iona sideline.
Absolutely, and it might have something to do with that urgency. Again, you look at just one stat we didn't show during halftime was fouls. 17 for Iona, only 6 for Monmouth.
Wow.
So, but that, again, could just get back to the sense of urgency of wanting to win and control your own destiny.
Well, those numbers are, I didn't notice that either at halftime. Draw controls 8-8 in that first half. But, Tim, those 17 fouls that Iona has been called up for have resulted in 4 for 7 Monmouth free position opportunities. That's 4 almost gimme goals that has Monmouth up 2.
And you try to look for anomalies, and when you're looking at data, let's look for some anomalies. And that's, like you said, everything was so even that one just jumped right out. And you're right, that leads to additional possessions, leads to free position opportunities. So that's definitely something that Coach Mason could sense on the sidelines. Just don't give them so many opportunities. Just play a little bit more basic defense, not as much stick swinging as we saw in the first half.
Well, and especially when you factor in that that's Iona's MO normally. They play sound defensive lacrosse, and that's what they're used to doing and what Coach is not seeing so far, in this, at least through the first half.
Again, forcing it a little bit, the urgency may have something to do with it. And then when you play with that sense of urgency, you're going to give up more opportunities and more chances, and Monmouth's just been burying their shots today.
Yeah, those 9 goals come on 12 shots on goal. Totoro straight down the middle.
That was a hockey save right there. Did you see how she collapsed down? Just like, imagine a hockey goalie when the puck's going 5-hole, just collapse their knees inside. That's exactly what she did there. Phenomenal save. And the 4 saves that McCaffrey has made have all been excellent, excellent saves.
And each one has been more important than the previous one, like you said. So knowing that, you mentioned it in the first half as well, Shannon McCaffrey is a bit more of that hockey goalie. You wonder if the Monmouth staff noticed that, and maybe that's one of those chess move adjustments. We'll see.
And you saw it on their success, as you mentioned earlier, the free position success they've had. They haven't gone 5-hole. They haven't gone in between her legs, and that's why. She's so very good there. They've gone stick side low, and they've shot to the far pipe on other opportunities in the crease. So that's definitely something that the scouting report outlined for the shooters today for Monmouth.
Smith, who was bearing down on McCaffrey. I believe she got just enough on it to prevent Alexa Smith from scoring her 5th goal of the season. So now we see what adjustments, if any, on the attack Iona made after such an evenly played first half, knowing the Gales have 27 minutes and 25 seconds to play themselves into the MAC tournament.
So that was a long possession by Monmouth. No fouls there. Very solid defense. It starts with footwork. So that's what Coach Mason and her staff, I'm sure, talked about, just coming out, getting the first stop, playing a cleaner game in the second half.
Becker finding the open player right in the middle, and it's Tolsman.
Tolsman just did a great job getting underneath. You can see right there, just got underneath, and she did a great job burying it to that far pipe.
Misspoke, not 16, it was 15. Caitlin Nochez who gets the goal.
I'll give you that. Those jersey numbers are hard to read from up here.
Well, she scored so quick,
yes.
I couldn't see it.
She was a blur. I'll give you my glasses if you would like.
Now, I may need them. Makes it a 1-goal game after the graduate students' 26th of the year.
Iona starting off just, I'm sure, we weren't down in their halftime huddle, but I'm sure that was the talk. Better defensively, clean it up, continue to shoot and get shots on cage, and that's exactly what we've seen thus far early in the second period.
Draw one by Monmouth's Allison Totoro. Monmouth getting into more of its settled attack. Logan Smet has checked in. Claudia Lamarca looking for some shooting space, and this goes wide.
She carried one through earlier in the game, opted not to take the shot, but she did there.
Smith again right down the middle of the Iona defense.
And absorbs the body-to-body contact there. Just a great finish to that far pipe. 5th goal in the day.
Alexa Smith making a strong case on the final day of the regular season for all league honors and maybe more. What a day for her.
and she gets it off before contact is made, before the officials could even think about calling a charge there. Great spatial awareness. And I don't know if we got confirmation, but I believe defensively for Monmouth, Kate Ryan, I believe she had two yellow cards in the first half, so she is out of the game. 2 yellows equal a red, and that's why I think one of the reasons we saw Caroline Corbliss playing defense on Giordano. So just something to keep an eye on.
You're spot on, my friend. You called it. Monmouth without its best defender now for this entire second half. She was sent off in the first half, and she was the one marking Giordano a lot of the first half.
And that goes to Giordano because she is such an attacker. She's such a force when she has the ball, and the key is you stop Iona, you stop her. And again, just two yellow cards. That second one was a cross-check that just went a little high up into the head and neck area. That was a point of emphasis for the officials coming into the season, both for men's and women's. And unfortunately, that was her second of the day. So she will be sitting out, cheering her teammates on. Great shot, stick side low. Guess who? Guess who?
Alexa Smith, Tim, is having a career afternoon. And when you're hot, and you can tell this ball's not in her stick for more than a second before she wants to shoot.
And that was just a great cut and pick there. Awesome job. I believe Chloe Novak's not going to get an assist. She's not going to get a stat. But she just ran a little interference to give her some time to get the shot off. Great job there. That's great teamwork. Doesn't take much. Just get your hands free for Alexa Smith, and she's going to bury it.
Well, Smith, we saw the goal numbers coming into play healthily into the 40 mark. And now she's starting to, Tim, get near some pretty rarefied air. She matches her career high with 6 goals in a game. That's the 10th most in program history. The all-time record is 8 goals in a game.
It's just phenomenal.
So that's something to keep an eye on as this game progresses.
Great save there, though. She tried to get number 7. I like what she did there. She shot it so quickly off the dodge, but it's again that might go on some goalies, but McCaffrey up to the test on that one. She was ready for it.
And then on the failed clear attempt, Monmouth with an excellent ride through the midfield. And now they'll quickly turn it back the other way. We continue to keep our eye on the out-of-town scoreboard, and right now in Loudonville, it is all Marist over Siena, leading by a touchdown just about midway point in the first half.
We've had a lot of football references.
Well,
you had the spring game this past weekend.
Yeah, it was this past week. You know, it is a football field that the lacrosse games are contested on. Well, even though the lacrosse student athletes will say it's a lacrosse field. So I understand.
There aren't many fields where football is played. I only know of one where the lacrosse lines dominate over the football lines. The lacrosse lines are actually sewed into the turf at Johns Hopkins.
Interesting.
And the football lines are painted on for the season.
11-8, Monmouth in front. Trying to improve its seed. Monmouth already knows it's going to the postseason. Iona can take care of that question with a win today. Otherwise, they have to wait around till later when Manhattan plays. Corbliss comes away with it.
Great ground ball.
She finds Lamarca, who can't finish.
And the Sarasa to Lamarca almost looked like an alley-oop on the previous shot. Just couldn't connect. Corbliss with the ground ball, feeding Lamarca, who streaking down the middle of the field. She couldn't get it on cage.
5 seconds to shoot. Staines switches hands, tried to throw it towards the middle, and the shot clock does expire.
Another solid defensive effort for Iona. Running the shot clock all the way down.
Let's go back the other way with Iona. Pelleccia had it poked away. Whistle goes against Monmouth. They'll restart the shot clock after the good clear from Iona.
Logan Smet there, the attacker, just little push from behind. Those are hard because that was just all-out effort trying to get there to cut her off and turn her back. So it's hard as a coach to get upset with that type of foul.
Becker one-on-one with Corbliss. Threw it behind Giordano, who tracks it down. It's not near necessarily any kind of desperation time with over 22 minutes to play, but it is a 3-goal game. Now, Iona, Tim, we saw in the first half, made up a 3-goal deficit in just a couple of minutes.
So they know they can do it. Absolutely. They know they can do it. So it was imperative that they get that last stop, get the ball down. They need to get some shots on goal.
There's a cut for Becker, and whether it's deflected or shot, it ends up with Riley Brager. And then Monmouth turns it over on the failed clear. Here's Giordano again. Iona moving towards the cage, and Brager able to make a big-time save.
Brager is so solid with her positioning. And right there, you'll see on this replay, set, so solid and so good low. Gave up the rebound there. They were able to corral it though, but that's hard. I mean, that was right only a few yards out from the crease, so that had some heat on it.
Megan Hart fouled on the clear attempt. Here's Alexa Smith, 6 goals already in this game. Lamarca finding Corbliss. Iona's defense collapsed around the senior, and it's a turnover.
That was tough because that was thrown to Corbliss in the inside of the field. So she was right-handed coming across. So what you always like to say as an attacker is have your stick upfield. And with her stick not upfield inside, it gave Iona a chance to collapse on that and cause the turnover.
Almost got too far inside. 10 minutes gone by, second half. Monmouth has scored 2 of the half's 3 goals, maintaining an 11-8 lead in this last day of the regular season.
Fog has lifted. Sun's trying to poke through.
Almost forgot we had fog earlier. It's gotten quite nice. Giordano throwing a series of dodges on Megan Hart. Nice pass forward, and Brager there again. I believe it was the Monmouth keeper who made the save. I don't think it quite got to the pipe yet.
I think that went right off of her right shin. Excellent job, nice position save. You'll see the replay coming up here. Great take, down low to low, boom, she's right on it. She does such a good job, and I think that's one of her strongest areas is because of the way she plays, you know, the 5-hole, right in between her legs. She does a great job of just collapsing to those.
Corbliss wide open on the doorstep, takes the assist from Sarasso to increase the Monmouth lead to 12-8.
Couple things there between the save. It was a huge, two big saves right there. Going down the other way, Corbliss with her 27th of the season.
You've got to know where Monmouth's number 7 is, able to get inside of the Iona defense.
Designed to command any road. Designed for all-weather adventure. This is the all-wheel drive Acura RDX. Designed for the city.
Visit your local Tri-Acura dealer for attractive offers on the RDX.
Get the live TV you love. No bulky hardware, no satellite, no annual contract. Try DirecTV now for $10 a month for 3 months. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Welcome you back on the final day of the regular season. Monmouth leading Iona, but with more on Iona's senior defender, Gabriella DiDomizio, and all she does for the Gales. Let's send it down to Susie.
Iona's Gabby DiDomizio really does it all. She was one of the first players that Coach Mason brought up when we chatted earlier this week. She said she's very smart. She's a very level-headed player. She's a second-year captain. Back in 2016, she was the MAC Co-Defensive Player of the Year. But not only does she excel on the field, but she's ridiculously smart in the classroom as well. She is her class valedictorian this year. She's also really active in community service, and she'll be heading to Penn State next year to pursue her PhD in chemistry. Coach Mason also mentioned that Gabby reached out to her and asked her to write her letter of recommendation. She said she was so honored to be asked, but it was really, really hard. It started out being 8 pages long. She was just filling it with everything she knew about this girl, and she said, you know, she embodies everything we stand for at Iona. Guys?
Well, Susie, thank you very much. I'm going to take what Coach Mason said one step further. I think, Tim, she embodies what every student athlete could be. What the accomplishments on and off the field for Gabby DiDomizio.
I heard that story and went and talked to my kids about it, because you want them to find role models in their sport or just somebody to look up to. And again, while we're all not, I'm not even sure if I can spell valedictorian, but we're all not going to be valedictorians, but that doesn't mean that you can't make an effort and be the best version of yourself every day. And boy, she's a perfect example of that. Oh, and by the way, 3 calls turnovers per game. That's second in Division I.
Really putting and it's cliche, but it's true, the true student athlete, and doing it both, and makes it, I guess, easier for a coach. How about Coach Mason telling us that the letter of recommendation was a challenge because of all of the stuff? Typically, you got to find stuff to put in a letter. There was so much that she had to put in about Gabby DiDomizio. I'd love to see what didn't make it in.
I know. What was on the cutting room floor? There was no fluff in that letter for sure.
Yeah, you got to get right into accomplishments right away.
Another thing, the 2-year captain, that speaks volume. They actually have a couple of them to be able to lead your team. That was one of my most proud accomplishments, is being a 2-time co-captain.
Did your team, and I'm always curious, the system at which they chose captains, was it named by the coach? Was it a vote by the team?
It was, at that time, it was a coach's decision. But as I tell every goalie, even if you're not named a captain, and again, since I was a goalie, you have to be a leader. Right. So even if your goalie is not a captain, you're a leader no matter what.
Here is DiDomizio through the midfield. On the clear, she'll do it herself, trying to help bring her team back from now down 12-8. Iona doesn't want to have to wait around and see what Manhattan does against Fairfield. But right now, they're 16 minutes and change away from having to do just that. I hope, if that's the case, all the cell phones are charged, because it's going to make for a lot of refreshing. But we've seen Iona in this game make up quick deficits. How about what Amanda Miller just did? Getting the deflection, like Tim said it before, the caused turnover and the ground ball.
And a clear. Excellent job just to get a piece of that ball, get the ball out of the cross, get the ground ball, clear it up field. Excellent job.
Yeah, with how clouded this picture is in the MAC. 5 teams coming in at 5-2. And Monmouth with a couple of resume wins over Fairfield and Canisius. As Staines goes unimpeded to the goal, Monmouth now up 5. And Tim, why not Monmouth in year 1 under Jordan Troutman? Their goal is the 1 seed and beyond.
And that's something that Coach Troutman and her staff have talked about from the beginning. Setting the culture. It starts with them, but it comes to life from the bottom up. And you'll see here, Jenny Staines clearly didn't listen to me because she went 5-hole McCaffrey, but that was the right shot right there. She came in, nice little sidearm, was able to get a lot of heat on that one to bury it.
Well, the defensive breakdown as well, as that might have been the most open Jenny Staines has not only been today, but probably in a while. Iona's not used to giving up unimpeded goals like that.
No, not when you give up 8.8 goals a game. But another thing, I just saw it on the replay, what Jenny Staines did there, she kept her head up, and it looked like she was looking at the top of the goal, and she shot it low. Excellent job by her to use a little deception there, and maybe that's why she was able to stick that one home.
Collision after the draw. And it was Tolsman that hit the deck. Nice spin move to get through 3 Monmouth defenders, and Iona on the attack. Tolsman going to try and go all the way, and she's fouled by Monmouth's Mackenzie Rendich.
That was one of those, what they call superhero dodges, where you just go to the goal and you sell out, and that one, she tried to get the shot off, was pushed into the crease, into Riley Breger, the goalkeeper.
It'll be a free position for the Iona senior from Davie, Florida, Jenna Tolsman. Now, in this scenario, because I learned and I listen to when my broadcast partner talks, Tim, in this scenario, you've called a few times where the player will try to get towards the far pipe and then shoot backwards, almost against them. And we'll see if Tolsman elects not to. I wanted to see what she was going to do.
I know, but you know what? Smart there, because they've got a man advantage on the yellow card. So I think she opted, because it wasn't the best angle for a righty, I think she said wisely, let's just pull it out and get a better opportunity.
That was shot over the top of the defense from Sarah Stewart. The 5'9" freshman from Castle Pines, Colorado, able to score.
Does a nice job here of extending her hand. Tall, Stewart's tall to begin with. She extends that stick up, shoots it right over Breger. Oh, looks like maybe Riley got a piece of it. You can see from her reaction there, maybe she thought she should have had that, or maybe she thought she had a piece of it.
It's a whole different element when the 5'9" freshman can go and shoot over the top of the defense. She shot over Amanda Miller, who's a pretty tall defender in her own right, but Stewart that time able to beat Breger.
Way to get that one on goal. Again, catch it in traffic. You're 5'9", then you extend. You know, so that ball was probably released at about the 6-7 foot, maybe 7 foot mark, and literally shot down into the cage.
And when you talk about changing an eye angle, you say high to low sometimes. That's really high.
Yeah. High, that was high to less high. And over the stick of Breger.
We've just passed the midway point of the second period. Iona getting the last score, getting a draw, and now danger time is Lamarca able to step in front. And then she has the presence of mind to get it just enough of it with her stick to keep possession.
Lamarca thought about it wise there, because they are still down. You know, they didn't want to force the, especially coming in with such a severe angle. And as good as McCaffrey is, didn't want to turn the ball over.
Yeah, the penalty and the shot clock are about 12 seconds apart. So Monmouth will, it appears, be content to run this penalty off. They do have the benefit of leading by 4. Corbliss quarterbacking this possession.
It's okay at this point to run the shot clock down with the 4-goal lead, try to kill that penalty.
It's more important to be at full strength in this scenario.
Although they did score 1 in the first half while they were down a man.
Here's LaMarca spinning. McCaffrey going down and making the save.
She collapsed right on that one again. Very good, as we had talked about, down low.
But now potentially an Aaron, and it is an Aaron outlet pass.
I wonder if I didn't ask Coach Mason, I wonder if she played hockey. I noticed that doing some prep work on her.
Well, that's been a few times in this game. She literally looks like a hockey goaltender going down and doing that. Timeout called by Monmouth. In a 13-9 game, Monmouth up 4, and they have been led, Tim, in this game by senior Alexa Smith, who has tied her career high with 6 goals scored.
6 goals scored on 8 shots. And she's got an assist to boot. You can see right here, just a great job right there, shooting the backside and absorbing the contact. Unbelievable. You can see, and what was so impressive, 2 ago, she scored with her offhand. That's so difficult to do. Dual threat right there. That was just a great finish for her 6th goal on the afternoon.
Well, the senior stands only 5'3" and is quite slight. Tim, when you see the numbers an attacker is putting up and what Alexa Smith is doing this season, does she physically fit the frame? It looks more like a midfielder than you see. She's one of the most lethal attack players in the league, and you said it, absorbs so much contact when she goes towards cage.
She's tough and she's quick. Again, that is just so impressive, because you know you're sacrificing your body. She's not wearing equipment like the men do, so she's going to get banged. They're going to banged and bruised and cross-checked, and so to be able to make and concentrate and make those catches and get the ball on goal is just so impressive.
Her 6 goals in this game also ties the Monmouth season high for goals scored. So the Hawks were able to successfully kill that penalty off. 13-10 to go second half. Monmouth behind Alexa Smith this afternoon, leading by 4.
I guess we should have had her as a player to watch.
Well,
we've already used. She's already been one.
She's been definitely an impact player. And like we said earlier, that gives you your kind of measuring point to see what's going to happen in a game. Here's Turturro going towards goal. There was contact. And it'll be a block called. Sliding over was Becker. I think she thought she was there. And Monmouth will keep it.
Little give and go here. It was kind of off to the side. Good call by the officials.
Yeah, I get what Becker was saying, that contact wasn't initiated by her, but like you said, she was moving and it wasn't head on, wasn't square. Monmouth will keep it under 60 seconds to shoot. Logan Smet is contacted before the shot. The junior from Rockville, Maryland will have a free position with 12:40 to go.
She got tripped up, and on her way down to the ground, she was able, heady play there to get the shot off. Just missed the cage, but draws the foul. Great opportunity here. Look for, they've had some success going stick side low.
And that's where Logan Smet will shoot and will score.
Nice job by her. Great composure and a nice shot.
9th goal of the year for the junior.
Excellent job.
I could see why you were such a good goalie, especially from that point of view. You seem to call where shots are going to go A lot. Is that film study?
It is, and back in the days of the VCR, we didn't I remember trying to break down the goals allowed. I would always stat goals allowed before I talked about any saves, and you just know where your weaknesses are as a goalie, and you hope that they don't shoot there. And that was always one of my weaknesses. But at the same time, with every game's video, they share videotape. It's great, so you can just take a look, and not to take anything away from McCaffrey, or she's a phenomenal goalie, obviously, as the numbers prove out. But there are just some shots that are just hard to save. And these free position shots are one-on-ones, basically, unless the defense collapses. So I don't know. I gave up a lot of goals in my career. I don't know how many one-on-one goals I gave up, but I'm sure it was a lot.
Well, the numbers you told us earlier in this second half, it's the number of fouls that's committed. That is a direct correlation. As Stewart was looking for another goal and Brager able to make the save, if you're able to play defense without fouling inside of that 8-meter, then you eliminate those opportunities. Obviously, that's easier said than done.
It is, especially when there's a quick feed and you're maybe trailing and you give up a foul. Very difficult. I can't imagine stepping in there and facing. Everything comes. Every shot is from basically within the 8-meter. That was a great save by Brager. She did a nice job standing her ground and making the save and controlling it.
Here's Stain starting and stopping. Contact in the middle of the field, and an offensive foul will be called on Jenny Staines. Charge was called right in the middle. It was really between and right underneath the 8-meter. So we'll go back the other way with the Gales. Here is Callie Gunn, the senior from Olney, Maryland. Time now a factor in this game with Iona down 5 and under 11 minutes left. Becker to the left hand, shoots high.
Was just over the top crossbar and the cross of Brager, so no reset on the shot clock.
Tolzman going to go her own now.
Just going to say that. A lot of traffic there. She gets through and, again, comes to a point where somebody's got to make something happen here.
So that play, she'll be rewarded with an 8-meter.
Look for an off-hip here, off-hip shot, if she can get it off.
She does, but it's wide. Iona will keep it. 30 seconds to shoot. It was a great move towards the goal, but a tough window to fit that pass in. Here's Monmouth's Amanda Miller running free down the left sideline. She'll clear it herself. 10 minutes to go, 5-goal game.
Great job by her picking up that ground ball and just getting it upfield. You could tell as soon as she picked it up, she took off. No hesitation whatsoever.
LaMarca right in the middle, takes the feed from Staines and scores.
Excellent feed by Staines. LaMarca with a nice finish, upper corner.
Monmouth has taken control here in the second half. They lead 15-9 under the goal from their number 15, Claudia LaMarca.